Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the Denver Bears franchise here in the offseason, our fourth one of this series. Can you believe it? Already 50 episodes in. Now, are you guys shocked? The Dodgers have won the World Series for the third time in this series. 3 out of 4 championships. Can you believe it? And the Oakland Athletics went to the World Series and went 7 with them. Now, remember all the people that were saying we took away Benito Ozuna, it didn't make sense for the Oakland Athletics? Well, Tristan McKenzie just helped them get to the World Series, so take that. Now, we do have a couple of coaches to fill the vacancies for. It looks like we have Ken Watto there. I want to get guys who can help us kind of be better as a team as a whole, not any specific attributes. So I want to get the top tier coaching. So we will offer them both a 3-year, $4 million deal. Now, I do make a slight tweak to the uniforms. I add the blue in from the old Denver Bears logo. And I think next season, I'm actually going to switch our whole entire jerseys to the old Denver Bears. I want to pay homage to the red and blue that they used to be. So that should be a lot of fun. And then we added some white to the bill. I want to make it so that this bill is white this year. I just want to try it out, see how I like it, and then see where we go from there. Now, let's look at retired players. The question is, will Charlie Blackman retire? And he is not on the list. Charlie Blackman is just a guy that keeps on going. He's going to be around 65 overall going into, age 38 season. I mean, the guy is just incredible. And here are our exclusive free agents. Now, I'm not thinking I'm going to sign any of these guys except Charlie Blackman. I said that I was going to offer him a contract. We will do that, and we will offer that later in the episode. But then I look at what Garrett Hampson wants, and he wants $13 million a year. I mean, that is just way out of our price range. I wasn't planning on re-signing him anyway. I was just planning on letting him go, letting him get his money because he deserves it. He's had a few good years with us, and I'm really happy to see him move on and start something new. So we go to the rest of our guys who really need contracts here, and I decide to extend a couple of guys, including Zion Storm, who is going into age 26 season, has not played at the MLB level yet. He has been a guy that's been a staple on my channel from the LBSU dynasty. That was basketball. Now he's in the majors this year. I'm definitely going to try to get him some playing time. Zach Veen gets an extension. He is our top prospect at the moment, along with Justin Maxwell. 4 years, $10 million deal. And then let's move to the MLB level with extensions. And I decide to extend Will Benson. I think that he's going to be our full-time right fielder strictly because I think he's just getting better as a hitter. I think that the best is yet to come. Hit 255 a year ago. That was his career high. Had his career high on base percentage as well. He's 26. We're going to take him through his prime. He's 84 overall right now. I mean, give him 2 years. He's going to be in the 90s overall. He is excellent defensively. Has the best arm by far on the team. We actually don't have many guys that have 90 throw power. He has 99. 99 arm strength. I mean, the guy is just amazing. We decide to also extend Derrick Rodriguez. I will extend him to a nice little deal here. I like what Derrick Rodriguez has kind of brought to the table, and he's been a guy that, isn't the highest overall guy, but he does everything we asked of him, so we will extend his contract. Now moving into free agency, where this class is absolutely loaded. This pitching staff here that the free agent market is incredible. I've never seen anything this caliber. Shane Bieber, Mike Soraka, Chris Paddock, Brandon Woodruff, Sandy Alcantara, Corbin Burns, Joey Lucchesi, Dakota Hudson, Pablo Lopez, John Means, Spencer Turnbull, Eric Lauer. I mean, so many guys there in free agency. And look at the bullpen. I mean, this is incredible. I have not seen a free agent class this stacked ever. On the offensive side of the ball, it's pretty good as well. I mean, look at all these good catchers. But catchers are kind of, I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot with catchers. I mean, you try to offer them a contract, they might accept it, but then they come to your team and they're doing terrible. And here is Charlie Blackman. I'm going to offer him a 1-year, $1 million deal. I want to just get him in the minor leagues and hopefully for depth. I want to see him at the MLB level this year as well. So I will offer him that contract. I'm sure nobody else will probably go after him because he's so low overall. But then our top needs this year were third base and also pitcher. So we will definitely go after some third baseman. How about Gleyber Torres? He's a free agent. He wants $31 million a year. And here is third base. Yoan Moncada is the top free agent. He's looking for the same, $31 million as well. J.D. Davis is there. He's an interesting third baseman. Hit 286 last year, 303 the year before that. And Johannio Suarez, a guy that I really, really like, hit 269 last year. On base percentages always sky high, 370 at least the last 4 years. This is exactly the type of guy that, I would like because I want a guy that would get on base. Chris Bryant gets on base pretty well too, 333. And then here is Josh Fuentes. He is on the free agent market. We'll see what he gets when we let him walk as well. But a guy that is super intriguing is Willy Adames. A young shortstop, I'd say young at 29, but still asking for $20 million a year. He would be an excellent addition. And then that will give us the option to possibly even move C.J. Abrams over to third base and let him develop as a third baseman instead of short. Then we go to the outfield, and the top free agent overall is Juan Soto. The numbers don't lie. He's hit 300 the last 3 years. Almost went for an MVP. The guy is just amazing. Eloy Jimenez is there. JD Martinez. And the list goes on with this free agent class. This is a very, very good class. Here's Hampson. He's actually the 6th ranked center fielder. So he should get a nice deal. So looking at the pitchers here, I look at the top 4 pitchers, and the 3 guys I'm deciding between is Mike Soraka, Chris Paddock, and Brandon Woodruff. Now, Brandon Woodruff is demanding the least by a mile, $13 million a year compared to 31 and 20 something. I think that this guy is very good. I'm looking at Clayton Kershaw's decline that he had around age 33 in this series, and he's at a low 80s right now. He's at 84 overall, started from 99. He's at age 38 now. So I think we can get him, and by the time he ends that contract, 3-year, $45 million for Brandon Woodruff, he will be around low 80s as well. So I will offer Woodruff a contract because I want to save some money here to possibly go after somebody else like Willy Adames. I look at our depth chart, and C.J. Abrams is at short. Brian Rocchio is still there. Just remember that Rocchio is still here. He's at 80 overall, and I just don't know if he's going to play this year. That is just insane. And then we also have Ryan Vilade behind him, and then Tyson Garraway. We have a lot of good shortstop prospects. So I decide to kind of look at third baseman, strictly third base, and I like J.D. Davis a lot, and I think he can hit the ball very, very well. He's wanting about $3 million less than Adames is, and I think I might try to offer him a contract. And I kind of think about this a little bit. $18.5 million a deal is what we would be offering him there, and I decide to pass on that. Johannio Suarez. I look at Johannio, and he has been a lifelong Cincinnati Red. Hit 35, 32, 48, and 41 home runs respectively. That on-base percentage is amazing. I need a guy that I know is going to hit the ball well, and Johannio Suarez is that guy. 2 years, $18 million. That will be the top offer over the Reds. And right away, he runs to his agent and says, let's sign that. 2 years, $18 million deal for Johannio Suarez. We get our first big free agent here this season. I said I did not want to make a ton of moves. I didn't want to buy our team. I want to let our prospects play out, and we get a third baseman who could possibly hold over third base until our next wave of prospects are ready to play. I'm happy for Gary Sanchez. He gets a deal with the Atlanta Braves, so that deal that we gave him a couple of seasons ago now pays off. He gets his long-term deal. I go back to free agent here in the second wave, and I notice that nobody is going after Mike Soraka. Brandon Woodruff has a lot of suitors, and he's getting what he wants, but Mike Soraka is not. He's looking for $26 million a year. I think the best deal that he's been offered is, $16 million. I mean, he's looking for like $10 million more. So I think that this is just the move to make. $26.5 million. Let's give him exactly what he's looking for. I said I had a lot of money to spend in free agency. We don't have a lot of guys that are like Mike Soraka's caliber, and I want to sign him next to Luis Severino, also Ramel Coffer, and now the newly really made a name for himself in Atlas Luncic. I mean, he is very, very good. Imagine him being a 4. It's going to be interesting this year. And catcher is one of the positions that I'm really looking at, but I think I should just let my young guys develop. I have a couple of young catchers. I look at Francisco Mejia, though. He's interesting, but $19 million. We've done this before with Gary Sanchez. I just don't think it's the right time. So we move on, and the Rays end up signing Juan Soto. So the big bomb does drop there. Hit .308 last year, 35 home runs, 99 RBIs at age 26. He signs a long-term deal. And then we get the news. Mike Soraka will be a Denver Bear. 26 years young, 93 overall. I mean, this is an excellent deal. This will take him into age 31. And I think that this is a move that will propel us in this division. Because just remember, Chris Paddock was going into free agency as well, leaving the Padres. So hopefully he signs elsewhere also. Brandon Woodruff did not like our deal. We offered him a $345. He takes the $347 from the Cardinals. So he moves on. They also get Kayla. I'm definitely botching that name again. But then a big bomb drops again. Yoan Moncada moves to the Giants. The Giants have been sick of rebuilding. They've been the worst team in this division the last 4 years. They get Moncada to help out that offense because the pitching staffs in the division are excellent now. Soraka just makes us stronger. I decide to go back to free agency, and I look at relief pitchers, a position that I really need one or two guys, and I look at a couple of guys here because we let Robert Stevenson walk. He still has not signed yet. Seth Lugo is there. Matt Whistler is there. And then John Brebbia is there. Scott Alexander, who we signed a couple of years ago, as a free agent once again. Keenan Middleton is interesting, but, he's not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a top-tier relief pitcher. So I decided to go to Giovanni Gallegos, and looking at him, Gallegos is so good. Look at the ERA last year. 1.63 ERA and a .91 whip. I mean, the guy is just money, and I got to go after him. He's looking at $11.9 million offer from the Cardinals. I decide to top that and give him longevity. 2 years, $24 million. Only a little bit over what the Cardinals asked him, but an extra year. And he accepts that right away. We have signed everybody we have wanted to in free agency so far. The one guy hanging out there is still Willy Adames, but now that we signed Johannio Suarez, we just don't need him now. And Corbin Burns ends up going to the Reds, and Dakota Hudson also signs with the Reds. So the Reds double up on pitching. Joey Lucchesi goes to the Astros on a 5-year, $90 million deal. J.D. Davis ends up going to the Royals on a 4-year, $62 million deal. Yasmani Grandal goes to the Athletics, and they were a team that went 7 in the World Series, ended up losing to the Dodgers. They should be back. But then we get some more news from the Giants. They have been spending money, and they give Gleyber Torres $30 million a year, 8-year deal, $240 million total. They are now trying to compete offensively with the division. I'm not sure that will work, though, because you need pitching, and their pitching isn't elite. So we'll see how that plays out. But then, probably one of the worst things that could have happened. Willy Adames ends up signing with the Diamondbacks on a 5-year, $80 million a year. Only $16 million, it looks like, a year. I don't know why it says 16. That's actually, oh yeah, I guess it is 16. But, man, now it's my only regret, really. Letting Willy Adames go to the D-backs. I should have been paying more attention to that, because once I saw them going after him, I probably should have went after him. But I like Suarez a lot. He is a power-hitting third baseman. He can definitely help us out and drive in runs. That's one thing that I'm looking for, especially in sim situations. I'm not going to play every game, obviously. I want a player who's going to play well in sim. I guess we'll have to see and compare them here in year one, Johannio Suarez and Willy Adames, and see who had the better season. So I don't make a big free agent move at catcher, but I decide to offer Omar Narvaez just a cheap deal, 1 year, about $2 million deal, just to get him in there for depth. And then we move on once again, and we find out some more signings here. How about Dominic Smith going to the Padres, 6-year, $160. So the Padres end up adding to their outfield, and he will probably be in left field there and replace Barry Gasaldo, who they had there. Eloy Jimenez goes to the Royals on a very cheap deal, 3-year, $25 million. And Victor Robles ends up going to the Tigers, 6-year, $78 million deal. So we go to the Rule 5 draft, a spot where we've picked up some very nice players, including, Benito Ozuna was picked number 1 in this draft before. We had the second pick in that draft. But look who goes number 1. One of our catcher prospects in Donnie Baldwin. I mean, the guy is pretty good. I'm kind of disappointed that he got drafted here. I did not add him to the 40-man, but I definitely had plans to eventually do it. So now we had to choose a player here, and I definitely want to add to our pitching staff, so I decide to go after Zach Little. He's a very good pitcher, 29 years old, only a 1-year deal that will be renewable after this season, and I decide to go after him. He's 29. Why not add to our bullpen and make it a strong point of this team, which it already is. Now I move on to the second round, and I see a couple of outfielders, but do I really need outfielders right now? I look at the depth of our outfield. We did lose Garrett Hampson. I look at a couple of guys here. We have 4 outfielders that will for sure be at the MLB level, but I decide to actually pass on that in favor of our young prospects like Zach Veen. Now, Veen could hit leadoff this year. I don't know if he will beat out Ozuna. I'm definitely going to have that as a position battle in the spring. I guess we'll have to see. Zach Veen is definitely a center fielder that I really, really like. He is a better fielder than Ozuna as well, but Ozuna is such a good hitter. Here is our projected lineup going into this season. Johannio Suarez will be the full-time third baseman, and one thing I love about this signing is that Johannio can play first base. So if I want to give Willingham some days off, which I probably could do because I saw that Willingham was kind of getting fatigued last season, I could move him to first base and then give Zion Storm some playing time at third, or Brendan Rodgers there. But Brendan Rodgers is a guy that is still on our team. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him. He is a good player, but I just don't think there's a spot for him. Maybe I keep him on the bench just for depth. I think he's a very good depth player, but I just don't know right now. And looking at the rest of our squad, I think we're pretty good. Our catcher position is the one weak spot, or I guess let's just say the unknown, because right now we don't really have a solidified catcher. I like Marshawn a lot. He just has to prove it. So we'll have to see how he does. He's still young. Don't worry about that. Omar Narvaez is there for depth, as well as McDowell, who will get some playing time as well. Our rotation looks like this, and I mean, this is going to be absolutely dominant in my opinion. I mean, Atlas Luncic at the number 4, and then Justin Maxwell, our top prospect, at the 5. I mean, how can you go wrong with that rotation? It would take a very bad year for us to be bad pitching wise. Now I'm looking at our bullpen, and I think it's excellent. Nick Goody, Giovanni Gallegos, Lon Rivas, Carlos Estevez, Zach Little now, who we just added. Also, Derrick Rodriguez is supposed to be here. I don't know why he's not in this bullpen right now. And then Jordan Hicks, the closer. I mean, this is going to be excellent, and I can't wait to get into this season. Now, Josh Fuentes ended up signing with the Tampa Bay Rays. He is just a depth guy for them. $1.9 million deal, and it looks like he has a couple of arbitration years left as well. I don't know how that played out, but he ended up signing there as a free agent. And then Garrett Hampson signed with the Milwaukee Brewers to be their starting center fielder. I'm excited for him to get a fresh start. He hit 281 last year, was over 320 in his on-base percentage the last 3 seasons. And he signs a 3-year, about $29 million deal, I'd say. What is that, $28 million deal? So he ends up signing with them. Good luck to him as a Brewer. So let me know what you guys think of this offseason. We signed a couple of guys who I think will make huge impacts, like Suarez and Soraka, obviously. I can't wait to get into this season. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So let me know what you guys think. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Next episode, we probably will do quick highlights of the spring and then get into the regular season right away. So you don't want to miss that. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on.